very low anyway. I think I'll let them kind of tell you more about what they're doing, and please help me give a warm welcome to Voices of Sepharad.
Thank you for coming this afternoon. This is such an intimate environment. We're going to treat this like a living room. And in fact, that's exactly how you would hear most of this music. That was its origins. It was music that people sang with each other, for their entertainment, and also to mark the time of year, if it was a holiday song, or to perhaps meet someone, if it was a courting song, or to entertain your relatives and neighbors. So this is actually very true to the origins of this music. We're going to start with La Comida La Mañana, which is about the morning meal which the young woman has brought home to her mother. Mother, I can't touch it because I am so in love. I've lost my appetite. That's exactly what the mother did. Except you know the song. And the young woman says, Mother, don't make fun of me. This is serious business. I'm in love. And the mother says, yeah. You know, as if I didn't have a boyfriend when I was your age. She said, yeah, I made love with my man too. But the men now aren't like they were. Now they're not worth anything. La Comida La Mañana from Turkey. spirited start for us, so I want to introduce you to my friends and colleagues on stage. Sitting all the way at the end is David Burke, who wins the prize today for playing the most number of instruments. To my left is David Stenzel, who plays violin for Voices of Sepharad. I don't know, maybe Mick has more instruments to my right here. Mick Labriola, who was a founding member of Voices of Sepharad, which means 17 years. And I'm David Harris. We founded this group with Judith Berningberg 17 years ago this month. And wow, do you see your adult life just flying in front of you when you hear big numbers like that. But this has really been a labor of love for us. I've traveled all throughout the Mediterranean world, throughout North America, collecting these songs and meeting the people whose lives were so enriched by them and carrying this music to new audiences and bringing it into this present moment where it belongs. Now, this is a wonderful weekend in the Jewish calendar because it's a holiday weekend, Tu B'Shvat, which, strangely enough, is the new year for the trees. Judaism started in a different climate than this one, which will explain why you'd be thinking about trees and their leaves. But nevertheless, we would like to do a Tu B'Shvat song for you now. And this is called Coplas de las Flores, Song of the Flowers. And in this song, of which we'll only do a few verses for you because it has dozens of them, the flowers argue with each other about who is most beautiful. Coplas de las Flores from Morocco. Language am I singing in? That? Ladino. Okay. The person who said Arabic is not completely wrong. The language is called Ladino or Judaismo or Hispanolite. It is the Jewish dialect of Spanish. The Jews who are called Sephardic had their roots in Spain. They lived there for over 700 years. Imagine how long that is. We call the oldest wasps who live in the United States are the ancestors, the pilgrims, have lived in the United States how long? 350 years. 700 years. Imagine being thrown out of a country where you had roots that long. And yet that's exactly what happened to the Sephardic Jews. 1492, they were expelled. Or they had a couple options. Death was one of them, and conversion was another. Conversion, death, leave town. And about, many estimates, 500,000 left Spain, fanning out throughout the Mediterranean world, principally where the Ottoman Empire was. They took with them their dialect of Spanish, and to this day speak this dialect. Even in Minnesota, there are Sephardic Jews who do speak this dialect. The reason why Arabic was not a completely wrong answer, in the song we just sang, there was a little Arabic. It's like any dialect. It absorbs the languages of the host country. So you'll be hearing more of that. In fact, you'll be hearing 7 or 8 languages by the end of the afternoon. So I've alluded to the fact that the Sephardic Jews have this very old relationship with Spain. Some of the songs called romances, or ballads, actually go back to that period of time. And this next one, which David and myself, David, will be the sound guy who you can't see is also named David. We refer to Mick as the un-David. This piece is called Diego León, and it talks about it's a famous medieval ballad in which a young man and a woman named Doña Juana fall in love with each other. And every day that they don't see each other is like a day where there is no bread and water. And at the end, the man goes to Doña Juana's father and says, may I have your daughter's hand? And he said, are you kidding? She's just a girl. Go away. And the daughter intercedes and says, Father, you must give my hand to him. As God has given, God can also take away. He is my destiny. Diego León.
La ciudad de Granada, allí se criaron un mancebo que Diego León se llamó. Él era alto de cuerpo, morenito de su cara, delgadito de cintura, mozo criado entre damos. De una tal se enamoró, de una muy hermosa dama. Se miran por una reja, también por una ventana. El día que no se ven, no los aprovecha nada, y los aprovechó el pan y el agua de la mañana. Don Pedro, dame a tu hija doña Juana. Mi hija no es de casar, que aún es niña y muchacha. Padre, casarme con él, y aunque nunca me deis nada, y los bienes de este mundo Dios los daba y los quitaba.
One of the great centers of the Sephardic Jewish world was in northern Greece. Northern Greece was part of the Ottoman Empire, and the city of Salonika, or as it's now called, Thessaloniki, was really the center. This next piece, this is a world premiere, we've never done it before, is about a famous Turkish prison that was in Thessaloniki, or Salonika, called Yedi Kule. Yedi Kule meant 7 towers, and it's not a place you wanted to spend the afternoon. And in this story, there's a man who is in the prison, and his former girlfriend is outside the prison walking around, and he begs her to take him back into her heart. She denies him his request. Yedi Kule. you asked that. This next piece is also from Greece, and it's interesting because the man who sang the song and whom I learned it from there's a rabbi in the community of Thessaloniki. But the subject matter of this song is most unrabbinic. What could I be referring to? Let me tell you a little something, but I'm going to give you the PG version, as the audience is rich in children. So a man who makes his living whitewashing is marching down the street, calling out his wares, and out steps una madame, a married woman. And she says, "Would you please whitewash my house for me? The kitchen is in desperate need." And he says, "I will need 2 hands for this job, one for the back and one for the front. No problem." And she says, "Why, just look at that brush of yours." "I'll look at it more closely before my husband gets home." And then she suggests the kitchen as a place for closer inspection. Ellen Kalador, from Greece, from a rabbi.
La furciana ya la tienes contra, antes que vengan a lavarnos no puedes dejar, antes que vengan a lavarnos no puedes dejar. La cocina, vamos detrás de la cocina, antes que venga a lavar los no puedes dejar, antes que venga a lavar los no puedes dejar.
One of my favorite Greek Sephardic songs, and this is one of the ones that I learned when I was in Greece in 1988, traveling throughout the whole country learning songs from the Sephardim whom I met there. This was one that everyone in Thessaloniki wanted to sing for me, and it's probably the most famous. It's called La Serena. Out at sea there is a tower, and in this tower is a siren, and the siren calls to all the sailors. And the sailor says, "Give me your hand, beauty. The woman who sleeps alone is cursed." And the woman responds, "If the sea were made of milk, I would make myself into a fisherman and reel you in with little words of love." La Serena.
E l'attore una vent'anni ai apposta la palomba e a los marineros samba ai apposta la palomba e a los marineros dame la mano palomba, me subiré a tu nido, maldicia che duerme sola. A dormir contigo, malicia che dorme sola. Provo a dormir contigo. Un pescador, pescar en los mistolos, con palabricas de amor, pescar en los mistolos, con palabricas de amor.
As many of you know, that there is a very close relationship, sometimes too close, between Greece and Turkey. And that's because of the legacy of the Ottoman Empire. Üsküdar, which is a Turkish song, tells you about this very cosmopolitan environment of the Ottoman Empire. This song has 6 languages in it, and it's really meant to be a song which plays on that. Every other word is in a different language. And I'm going to let you guess what they are after you hear it. But it's meant to be a fun song that tantalizes the audience with all of these languages. The actual content of the song is probably negligible. I'll give you one couplet and you'll draw your own conclusion. A young man makes his introduction to a young woman, and she hits him on the head with an umbrella for having said good evening. It's tough in Istanbul. Rachel Lastimosa. Poor Rachel. She's a married woman, and yet a married man asks her for his attention and her attention, and she must turn him down. You see a lot of that going on here. That's what folk music is all about. If these problems didn't exist, we wouldn't be singing about these things. This is from Morocco.
mandare una carta declarando l'amore, mandare un anillo di alas de gran valore, la mandare un anillo di alas de gran valore, non se lo volviera, che casata era io. Modulado magico, modulado magico, video nascosto, video nascosto. Well, Tu B'Shvat, this festival of the trees, is celebrated in many different ways and in different countries. In Bosnia, where there was also a very important Sephardic population, there was a beautiful song called Hamisha Asar, which those of you who are Hebrew speakers know means 15. Why 15? That's the number of platters of fruits that were brought into the party, especially for Tu B'Shvat. And I leave this piece to my colleagues. party.
Yeah.
So I mentioned these 15 platters of fruits that were carried into the party. One of the fruits, I can promise you, was a pomegranate. Pomegranate is a very important fruit in the Middle East, and is one of the, I think there are 6 fruits that are referred to that you must eat at Tu B'Shvat. And pomegranate, for those of you who don't know, I actually tried to go to the store to bring one in today to show you, but they're out of season. They look like oversized apples. They're red like a red delicious apple is. But when you cut them open, they're filled with red seeds. And these seeds have many different connotations symbolically. One of them is that they represent fertility, and fruitfulness, and fecundity, and creativity. And for that reason, the rimon, as it's known in Hebrew, or the pomegranate, is one of the oldest symbols in Jewish culture. This symbol of creativity, which has carried the Jewish people for thousands of years. And in that spirit, we'd like to sing for you a new piece for us, an old piece, but new for us, called Eitz HaRimon, which is about the pomegranate tree. And this is a piece that I learned from 2 Iraqi Jewish women who live in the Twin Cities. And this story is instructive for all of you. They came to a Voices of Sepharad concert and became great followers of ours. And after one of them, they introduced themselves and said, "We have some songs for you." And I always pay attention to my audience this way, and I've learned many songs. So if any of you have any Sephardic songs from your background or know someone, I'm willing. My ears are open. Now, this is an interesting piece because the words are by, we know who wrote the words, a man named Yaakov Orland. And many melodies have been fitted to these words, but this is perhaps the most famous. And we call this a Mizrahi tune, an Eastern tune. The Iraqi women, whose names are Tirza Taliban and her sister Marguerite Sorani, insist that this is Iraqi, and who am I to quarrel? They heard it as they grew up in Baghdad. The pomegranate tree, in this poem, its scent, supposedly, flows from the Dead Sea to Jericho. And then the lover spends several verses praising his loved one's virtues. Your eyes, your mouth, your honor, it's all great. And at the end, since pomegranate seeds, after all, are associated with fertility, he says, bride, come inside. The night is coming. So we can only guess what's in place ahead. Eitz HaRimon. And I have to say, from St. Paul, Minnesota. That's where they live now. They were born in Baghdad, immigrated in the late 40s to Israel, 20 years later moved to New York, and then came to St. Paul, Minnesota. See, it's more diverse here than you would ever imagine. Eitz HaRimon natan recha, v'yamamen achlirecha. I send a kiss over to Tirza, who is just recovering from surgery for cancer. I went over to her apartment yesterday afternoon and sang for her, and especially sang It's a Rimon, because I knew that she couldn't come here today. She's an absolutely delightful woman, and in the series that Minnesota Global Arts presented last year, Tirza was one of the performers on Mother's Day, making her the oldest mother to perform in this series. We'd like to close with another Iraqi piece. And this is a very interesting song. It brings together the languages of Hebrew and Arabic. And similarly, the song is a joint effort by a Palestinian poet who wrote the words and an Iraqi-Israeli musician whose name is Yair Dalal. And through Yair Dalal and his ensemble, they brought this song to a very wide audience. I'm going to read the poem to you because I would like to end today in the spirit of peace which it longs for. Like an ocean, peace, my love, has a wide, embracing soul. There are times of ebb and flow, in days of struggle and sorrow. Between storms and thunder, feelings burst out, my love. There will be a time, I know. From far away, I long like a lone star in the sky. Out of lightning, the rainbow will appear, and I'll know the time has come. Time for peace, inshallah. May God will it. Zaman as-salam.
Sepharad
salam, zara salam, inshallah. אני יודע רחוק מתגעגע כמו חכם בודד בגשר שם למעלה ברקיע זמן المفتعال בימיר הסיגר אין ברכים תופיע קשת ועדה שזה הזמן זמן הסלام